Why don't we do our discussion questions? I'm going to pass the jar around. You're going to choose one of your questions. I want you to read the question aloud, and then everyone's going to go back to the text to find me the page number that you found your answer on.
Do you think Diego did the right thing when he ran to get help for the eagle rather than helping the bird himself?
Good. This is a good question. Remember we talked about literal questions that give us one response and then inferential that give us an explanation. So everyone think, do you think Diego did the right thing when he ran to get his dad instead of going to the eagle and helping itself? Go ahead.
Yes,
Why?
because if he was really hurt and if he didn't have nothing to do and he was just standing there all the time and no one was just coming up, and the dad said not to call the vet, and that was the right thing to do.
What gives you kind of a clue that maybe Mr. Mullygrub might end up being a nice guy, Tyler?
Because he might be helping, he might help the boy, with the contest.
But why do you think that? Do you have any schema about that? Have you ever read another book where a mean character turns into a nice character?
Yeah, I think we read that in 3rd grade. I was in this group, and so there's this really mean guy because he hit a home run into this window, and then he got really angry, and then because he doesn't like doing that chores, but then on the second week that he did it, he really liked doing it.
Good.
So now let's think about the setting of this story. Were there any connections that you could have made remembering the Indians of the Eastern Woodlands? What kind of foods did they eat? What kind of resources did they have? Kiara?
Well, I know that they lived in the woods, so that would mean that they would either grow their own crops or they would hunt. Walnut had to learn with the bow and arrow to hunt.
Okay.
So I think they ate meat just like the people in the Eastern Woodlands did and grew their own crops.
All right. And also, the Native Americans that lived in the Eastern Woodlands, they weren't only hunters. Can you find anything in that first section of the story that kind of gives you the idea that these perhaps were Eastern Woodlands Indians that Walnut lived with? What do you see, Kiara?
Well, I see that it says, I could sense something coming towards me. The smell of familiar pemmican scent of berry mixed with dried meat.
And I'd like you to read to yourselves from the yellow Post-it note to the top of the blue Post-it note. And as you're reading it, I want you to share with me what was a major milestone that Walnut was working towards. Why was hitting the piece of moss such an important milestone for Walnut in our story?
So that he would know how to hunt when he gets older.
Okay, that's important for him. What else, Claire?
And hunting, that's he becomes a man. That's how he becomes a man.
From this page, what do you think was the most important piece of information? Adrian?
Where the nests are.
Okay, why do you think that's important?
Because if they don't show where the nests are, we may not know where the sea turtles are.
Okay, and why is it important, do you think, that we know where they are?
Because, so people know more information.
We're going to come back to that question. So where the sea turtles? And you're going to see, Adrian, when we watch the video, why that is important. Okay. What else is it? Look at the subtitle on page 6. It says sea turtles in trouble. So what's going on? Hannah?
Sea turtles are getting caught by our people for their shells and skin.
Yeah, unfortunately. And can you find that? Can you show us where you found that evidence?
It says that, where was it again? It says, oh, I found it. Some people hunt turtles for their meat and shells.
Very good. That's a huge problem. What's another problem for sea turtles? So they're getting hunted? Chase, what's another problem that you see in there?
That some sea turtles are getting
killed a lot each year because it says in the text that there's 2,300 leatherback turtles killed in the U.S. from shrimp nets. Because I also read that they can't swim backwards, so when their fins are stuck, they're
Very good. Excellent. And do you remember where you read that?
in the not on this page, on page 7.
Very good. Thea Franklin is the author. What does that mean, the author? So you know what? Anna?
The author writes the words.
Very good. Point to the illustrator. Point to the illustrator. Great. What does the illustrator do? Something you just did in vocabulary, right? Yes, what does the illustrator do?
Draw the picture.
Draw the pictures. So, Alyssa, if you're reading a page of the story and you think, oh, I did that at home with my mom, would that be a connection?
Yes. Because connection is like being like you know something that you did, and the story has something that you did.